second, you're not there. And then, right on time.
Something is calling me, I don't know what. Something is talking, but I don't know who. Yes, sir. What is popping, everybody? It's your boy Corey Shea. Let me turn the music down slightly. Yeah, what is up? First time chatter, what's going on? It is your boy Corey Shea. We actually got a really special stream today, very studious study stream today. So this is something I've been wanting to do. Well, first of all, before I get into that, how you doing today? How's your morning going? Welcome to the chat. Let me make sure I said your name right. Foosh Eye? Is it Foosh Eye? Foosh Eye. Okay. I'm fine doodling at the moment. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna definitely. If you have a social media where you got your art, I will definitely check it out later. I'm all for the artist, as you can plainly see. But yeah. All right, guys. So let me know if the music is a little too loud. Yeah, that's right. You can just go by whoosh or whoosh. Okay, I like it. I like it. All right. What are we doing today? So this is actually a very special type of stream I've been wanting to do for a while now. It is called the Studious Sketchbook. So basically the goal of this series of videos, because I'm going to turn this into a YouTube video later, I want to go through the 50 million art books that I have that I seldom read and I need to read because I'm an artist. I need to get better. So to start off our dive into the art fundamentals, we will go over our first reading material will be the Dynamic Bible by Peter Hahn. And if you don't know what it looks like, it would look like this right here. A beautiful little book right here. This book basically goes over like the principle of form and how to make shapes from 2D to 3D basically. Um, so obviously, since this is a someone made this book, I can't show every single page, but I'm basically kind of like summarize and kind of go through, basically create notes of what I learned going through the book. Um, so yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a messy because this is like the first. This is gonna be the first video in the series. It's gonna be kind of messy until I get my bearings. So I kind of figure out the best way to go about this, but let's do it. Let's get into it. We love new experiences around here. So yeah. So when we kind of dive into the Dynamic Bible by Peter Hahn. Hold on, let me get this. Let me get this ad out of here. Oh, this will be fun. It will be fun, of course. So when we go into the Dynamic Bible of Peter Hahn, the first couple pages kind of start off with like these little exercises. So the first exercise we kind of see is this kind of line exercise. Um, kind of the goal of it is to you'll create this line and then I can kind of show it on my stream. Hold on, give me a second. You'll create a line, and then the goal is you'll create these like short lines, and they have to be equal distance between each other. The goal of it is to basically. Sorry, I'm also gonna have to get my words straight. I just woke up, so bear with me. Basically, the goal of this is to build line confidence. You wanna have like consistent lines with a consistent distance between each other. And try not to make them like wobbly. And you'll also basically go over them as well. So you'll make the lines, then you'll go back over those lines, and they have to be kind of straight. Again, the goal is to make them more basically make them consistent and make them equal distance. Um, Try to avoid going outside of the line if possible. Make it as straight of a line as possible. And obviously, this is not going to be a perfect thing. Um, it's going to take a lot of trial and error. But yeah. Now, I might not. That's fair. It's late afternoon for me, so I've had time to work. Ugh. If you don't mind me asking, what part of the world are you in? If you don't mind me asking. But yeah. So right now on the stream, I'm probably not gonna. So for this stream, I'm probably not gonna go through these exercises because I feel like these exercises are better done on like traditional paper. But when I make the video, I'm actually make like a little cutaway to me actually doing these exercises on paper to make it more clear what I'm doing. Because I feel like with digital, it doesn't. I don't really get the point across. I have like stabilization. It just doesn't come across correctly in digital format. But I will put this in the video. So I'll briefly go over like the exercises, and then I'll put them actually more detailed explanation of those exercises in the actual video I post on YouTube. I'm from Sweden, and that's a useful exercise. Yeah, it is. Yes, I've done this exercise before. I always quit. I need to be more consistent with it. But I'll briefly go over the other exercises. Let's see. So obviously, this next exercise is basically like it goes over basically line weight and how line weight can kind of influence how people see your art. Let's see. So as you can see right here, this one it has like very thick line. It has very bold line weight. So that gives kind of like a flat and graphic look, which is good if that's what you're trying to go for. This one right here, and as you can see in this example, let me see if I can see this. As you can see in this example, you see how the line weight is bolder in one direction. This can kind of give off like a sense of like light. Light is hitting this part right here. Hold on. I can make another layer. It'll give a sense that light is hitting this part right here, and it's darker right here, and light is hitting this direction. And I also believe it can give the it can kind of give the impression that something is closer to you than not closer to you, which is important. Like I said, I love line weight. Yes, it's very important. I think that's one of the things I have to get better at with my art, because I feel like my art, my line work is very like bold all around. I need to vary it. So that's something that's important that I really need to get better at as well. And we'll get into this last one, which is actually very important. Let me see if I can find it. This one right here, when it comes to ellipses. Ellipses are very important because ellipses are actually very important because it's damn it, I can't talk today. Sorry, give me a second. I've done this exercise so many times. I need a refresher. Like I said, this is gonna be messy because this is my first time doing this series. Okay, so I'll read the excerpt, and in the video I add like a little description of what this means. So, circles and ellipses. Keep in mind that you will not get all the practices perfect. If you want something technical and clean, then I would use an ellipse guide. This setup is mainly about building confidence in the movement and line control for use, and freehand sketching techniques. So yeah, this is basically another exercise in line confidence. Basically, you make like these little rows, and you create these spheres, ellipses. And the goal is to kind of go over the ellipses and make them as kind of like consistent as possible. So right here, you see how like this one is like very consistent. Keep in mind, things to keep in mind. This is not something you gain control overnight. Expect a long road ahead of you, and do understand that you will need to invest time to build comfort with drawing. These basic exercises will help you gain line confidence. Change up the scale of the circles and keep challenging yourself. So yeah, this will help with like basic line confidence essentially, and also kind of helps with like perspective, certain things like in perspective, um, creating planes to like kind of like different objects like spears and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm gonna make a little cutaway in the video to like kind of further explain this. Because I'm probably not doing the best job. Ellipses, my okay, I'm not sure if they're my beloved or beloved. Love including them in my practices. Do not enjoy the practice of it. Yes, it's very tedious. I would say that. It's definitely a practice I need to get back into. So, that's definitely one important practice. So, now that we kind of got a brief understanding of of those three practices, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this book. So give me 1 second. Da, 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 da. Okay, so da, 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 ba, ba, ba. Give me a second, y'all. Very professional streamer, by the way. But that's kind of the point. I'm very I am messy as all hell when it comes to the streaming stuff. But it's fun. Alright. So we're going to get to what I believe will be the most important aspect of this book. Shape manipulation, as they put it in this book. I would like to say turning 2D shapes into 3D. So, the most important thing when it comes to art fundamentals, I believe this should be the stepping stone of basically the foundation of your art journey. At least that's what I believe. Form and how to make 2D shapes 3D. Because essentially, everything you draw is made up of shapes, basically at a basic level. And as you can see over here, the most important shapes that basically every drawing is made of is a circle, a box or square, a triangle. Basically a square, circle, and a triangle. Now, that's good. That's all good and handy. That's good. Those are the basic shapes that everything are made of. But how do I... They look a little flat if you see what I'm putting down. They look a little bland. So we gotta add some curves to them. We gotta make them feel like they jumping out at you. Now I know I said these are the three main shapes, but once you go into 3D, it actually becomes into like kind of like 5 main shapes that everything is made of. So let's start. Let's start with a circle. So how do we make a circle feel more three-dimensional? Well, what you would do... Well, obviously, what you would do, you would have to kind of add some contours to it. What I like to do... And this will get into our training... Oh, y'all can't see it. Hold on. This will kind of go into our next training that we'll be kind of diving into this book. The first thing you do to make this three-dimensional, figure out what's... Okay, this is going to be hard to explain, but I'm going to draw it out. You'll find the center line of this sphere. So, let's say the center line is going to start right here. You'll put a line right here, and it'll go through over here. So this is basically kind of like a starting point on the sphere, I would say. This will be kind of where the front of it starts, if that makes sense. And from this little center point right here, what you'll do, you'll add contour lines. Let And basically, contour lines are like these little wrapping lines that kind of give the flat shape a form. And sorry, my line is like very like jittery and shaky. Let me fix it up real bit. Yeah. So now we added those contour lines. See how more three-dimensional it looks? It looks better than it did over here, I would say. So this exercise will pretty much kind of give anything form. Now, okay, hold on, what's that? Okay. Now that's a sphere. Now, let's go into this square over here. Now square, now when we turn a square into, basically turn that circle into a striped bead. Exactly, yeah, basically. We kind of give it form, give it kind of like depth to it. And if you want to go further, you can add like shading to it. But this is like the first step. When we go into a square, an easy way to give a square form would basically be adding planes to it. You'll turn a square essentially into a cube. So you'll add like perspective. Let's say the vanishing point is right there. And then you'll add like the edges right here. And have it adhere to... have it adhere to the perspective. Oh, my bad. Eraser, come on. There we go. And now we got a nice little cube. We got a nice little cube. You can kind of do the same principle as we did with the sphere. You can't technically add like contour lines to it. Add a center point. It's a little less necessary since it's a cube. It already has planes and it's kind of easier to make three-dimensional. But it'll make a little bit more sense when I get into it on the next step. And we have this triangle over here. How do we make this triangle three-dimensional? Now, this goes back to the ellipse training that we did. So what we'll do, we'll create an ellipse. So I got a little ellipse here. And then I'll make like a center point right here in the middle of it. And then I'll go up. And then from these edges right here, I'll have these points converge at the top of this little point right here. So now we essentially turned that triangle into a cone. So again, to make it a little bit more three-dimensional, we can add wrapping lines as well. You basically just add lines that kind of adhere to the curve of the cone. Or rather, I'll do you one better. Let's actually do it like this. We'll make them ellipses. We'll make them ellipses. And sorry, this looks very like raunchy right now, but you get the idea. And we'll kind of clean it up as well. So when it comes to we drawing candy corn. Hey Savage, what's poppin'? Today on our stream we're doing a what's I call a Studious sketchbook. Basically, I have a whole bunch of art books that I'm trying to get through, and we're trying to basically just go through the art books and kind of learn the different skills in them. Right now, when it comes to what I'm doing right now, we're learning about like shape manipulation and how to make 2D shapes 3-dimensional. Something I found useful when I'm struggling with getting my shape to make sense is to pretty much do this. Yeah, yeah. Basically, add those contour lines and add like either ellipses or like give them planes, stuff like that. Right now, as you can see, this is very like very ghetto right now, but we'll make it look a little bit more better. And also, to make it a little bit more believable, we can also add like kind of like a little shadow to it. Kind of give it like a little bit of depth. I also want to go back over this. I want to redo this square because I feel like this square was really bad. I don't know. I'll put the vanishing point right there and do that. Bop. Damn it! This is I'm supposed to be good at this. Cubes are not hard. I'll put this right here. Drawing cubes some days just be like that. Draw a scary motherfucker. That'll help. It follows a lot of shadows and contours. It does. We'll get into that at a later date once I get through the fundamentals of this book. Some days just be like that. It does. I've done this 50 million times. I know how to draw a cube. So like I was saying before, cubes are a little bit easier to make 3-dimensional, because they just have defined planes to them. Now technically you can still add wrapping lines to it, but I would say it's not necessary for right now. It might be necessary later, but for right now, we got us a nice little cube with form to it. My little blocky boy right here. He can do no wrong. There we go, nice. We'll clean it up. Alright. So, we turned the 3 basic shapes that basically everything is made up of into 3-dimensional shapes. So we got the circle. Let me get a Dicker line art pencil so I can actually write this down. So we got the circle. We turned a circle into a sphere. Square into cube. And a triangle. And a triangle into a cone. Now remember before I said that there's actually once we get into the three-dimensional aspect of everything, um, there's actually two more shapes that everything is made up of. So those two are the pyramid and a cylinder. So pyramid, a pyramid, of course, that derives from a triangle. So let's go over that real quick. So let me draw a triangle. Okay, I got this nice little triangle right here, but it's still looking a little flat. What we can do, we can kind of do the same principle, kind of sort of the same principle we did with the cube. I'm going to create a vanishing point, and the points on the triangle will diverge to that vanishing point. And then what I can do, I'll choose a point right here, let's say for instance. And then the top of the pyramid will drop down right here to create the side plane over here. And now we can like kind of clean it up a little bit. Forgive me if I'm not the most clear with this. I'm trying to get better at articulating my words, but that is how you would make a pyramid, essentially. It'll be kind of like, it's kind of like combining the principles of turning a triangle into a cone with the principles of turning a square into a cube. You'll basically take a triangle and make a vanishing point and create a plane on it, if that makes sense. Sorry if I did not explain that the most correct way, but that's essentially the principle to it. You can also add some shadows to it to give it more depth. And also, we got the cylinder over here. Okay, bet. So how do we do a cylinder? How do we do that, you ask? So we'll go back into ellipses. So we'll create two ellipses. Create two ellipses right here. You'll create a center line on them. And then you'll make a rectangle. Let's just make a rectangle like this. We made a center line and we put a line through it. So let's say this top is, let's say we're looking down on it. So the top of the cylinder will be right here. And the bottom, we won't be able to see the bottom since it's obscured, since we're looking down on it. Nice. And then after that, to make it a little bit more three-dimensional, we'll add wrapping lines to it, like contour lines. You can make these. You can also make these ellipses too, if you so choose. Morning, what's up, Nishmi? What's up? What's poppin'? How's your morning? We're doing what's called a Studious Sketchbook stream. Essentially what it means is I have 50 million art books. And we are basically just going through these art books and learning the context of them. Today we're going over a book called Dynamic Bible by Peter Hand. It basically goes over like how to make 2D shapes three-dimensional. That's the gist of it. So yeah. So right now we took two ellipses, we added a rectangle to it, and then we added like contour lines to it to kind of give it more a three-dimensional feel to it. So let me clean it up a little bit. got us a cute little cylinder here. And we can also create a shadow here to make it a little bit more, add a little bit more depth to it. Your practice 3D in perspective. Yeah, yeah. That's going to be something I get into at a later date. Or if this book goes into it, we'll go into that as well. There we go. So right now we successfully turned a triangle into a pyramid, and then a, I would say a rectangle into a cylinder. So let's write that down real quick. Alright. So to quickly recap before we get to the next part. When it comes to 2D, there's three main shapes. There's basically circle, square, and triangle. But once we go into 3D, there are five main shapes that everything you draw is composed of. That's basically a sphere, cube, cone, pyramid, and cylinder. If you're drawing anything, it will be made of a combination of either one of these. Like a sphere, cube, cone, cylinder, or pyramid. Basically. So just remember that. I'm gonna make a, when I make this into a video, I'll make the little note at the top to plainly explain what I just said. But yeah, basically, everything in this world is made up of a combination of a sphere, cube, cone, cylinder, and a pyramid. So do with that as you will. Alright, so let's get into the next part of this Studious sketchbook. So right now, this is an example of how we would kind of make abstract shapes three-dimensional. So you see how this is like basically a blob. So how do we get to this point right here? So I'm going to get into that. So that's actually very interesting. And this is to go over the principle we applied to when we make that circle into a sphere. So let's just make a crazy little shape, like a little crazy ass shape, just to get our point across. Damn it. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna just make like a weird ass blob shape. So I got this little weird ass blob shape, right? Very flat, very nonsensical, very whimsical, I would say. Hold on, let me repeat that because that ad was in the that ad was in the overlay. I don't want that in my video. All right, so we do this little blob of sorts, this mass of nonsense. But how do we make it three-dimensional? Okay, so remember when we were turning that circle into a sphere, we made a center line. Well, not a center line, but a center point. So let's say this point right here will be basically where this shape will face us. Once I got my center line, I'll make a once I have my center point, I'll make a center line that goes through the shape. Let's say it can be any direction. So I have this center point, and then I put a center line through it. So this is where the line will go in. This is where that line will go out right here. So from that center point right here, let's add contour lines. And to make it more interesting, let's add multiple center points. I add one right here too. And with this exercise, kind of try your best to make the wrapping lines kind of adhere to the perspective or like shape of the blob, I would say. This is probably very, very this is very ghetto. So right now, I would say right now it still looks a little bit flat, but we're getting there. What we can do, I can add a little bit of shading to it as well. And like I said, this is not perfect. This is not gonna. You're not gonna get this off rip. So right now, see how I'm like kind of adjusting like the contour lines to kind of make it more three-dimensional? That's okay. And actually what I want to do, I actually want to go back to this. I kind of sort of want to change the center line right here. I feel like if I change the center line, that will make it a little bit more believable. So let's make the center line right here. Then I make this right here. Then I add a little bit of shadows right here. Yes, that looks way better. The fuck is this? Let's see. Since this part of it is a little bit closer to us, I'm gonna make the line weight a little bit bolder. Okay. I'm gonna redo the center line over here. So over here is a little bit weird. Oh shit, I got charged. Hold on. I got charged my iPad before it dies. We can't have that. Give me 1 second. Let me get my charger. But basically, the principle that we're basically taking this blob of a shape, adding a center point at various points, and adding like contour lines to kind of give it like depth. We also add shadows to kind of increase the depth as well. This is a very rough sample, but you get what I'm saying. I'm gonna refine it in just a second. Let me get a charger before my shit dies. Oh shit. My government. Oh, that's what that plunking was. Thought it was my computer. That's probably my chair. If you hear like a noise, it's probably my chair. There we go. I'm gonna go back over these contour lines right here because it's bothering me. I want to make sure I get these right. Like I said, it's not gonna be perfect. You're kind of gonna have to play around with it a little bit to get these shapes correct. Okay, let's see how I would do this. Okay, yeah, I think I got it. I add a little bit of a shadow right here. There we go. But basically, you get the principle. See how I turned that non-incoherent little blob into at least something that resembles a shape. That's basically the principle that we were trying to apply. Once you add like contour lines, you add like a center point, you can kind of make anything look somewhat three-dimensional. Now, what the fuck this is, I can't tell you, but the principle still stands. Let's do another one. Okay, let's say. All right. What's the closest thing? What's the closest point to us? Let's just say it's right here. Alright, so we got that, and it will go kind of right through it. Let's add contour lines. Okay, let me see. That looks very rough. But let's see if we can make it look less rough. Pen, right. There we go. There we go. Okay. This part right here is going to be a little bit challenging. I'll say what I can do. There we go. Looks okay. I add some shadows to it too. Like I said, it's gonna be very rough. I'm trying to see if I can get it as perfect as I can. Because I'm basically creating a very weird shape, I would say. And while we're at it, I might as well just change the center line and make it go kind of through it. Kind of like that. I feel like it would make more sense. Okay. So we got us a little kooky little shape here. Uh, what it is, I don't know what this is, but you get the principle. We took kind of like a nonsensical shape and gave it depth essentially. Before it was just flat. Now this one has like kind of dimensions and it looks like at least something something with perspective and depth to it. He got buried. Now this shadow, I don't know if I did this shadow correctly, but basically, yeah. That is the principle of this. Okay, so that kind of goes into our next part. Let's. This goes into this next part of basically interlocking boxes, interlocking shapes. Okay, so this one was a little challenging when I read it. So let's see if we can get it. So basically, let's say we got a spear here. He got buried in a second. Wait, did you scan these images in? No, I just took a picture of them. I just took a picture of them. I'm trying not to show like the whole book, just like little examples and stuff like that, just so you can get kind of follow along. And I would also encourage you guys. I would also encourage you guys, if you want to follow along with me and you're an artist yourself, I would recommend buying this book. It's a very helpful book. I'm gonna show it on the screen. Um, it's called Dynamic Bible by Peter Hain. I'll actually put a link in the bio to where you can buy this. Because it's a very important thing. I feel like this is like the starting point if you're an artist. Just learning how shapes work. Because everything's made of shapes. It's the foundation, I would say. No, I just thought it was like a training thing to import. Nah. It's not a digital book or anything. It's just like a picture I took of the book. Because I have the physical book. Like I said, I'm not trying to show like the whole thing for like copyright reasons, but I would encourage you guys to buy this book if you're really serious about art. All right, cool. Let's see. I'll make a box real quick. Now this principle is actually kind of. Now let me steal it off you and say you're gonna have to find me first. But now this next part is a little bit tricky. I might watch one of his videos online so we can actually understand it because it's a little little kooky, I would say. Basically, all we're just learning how to like combine shapes, interlock shapes. Basically, combine them together, and make it look good. I would say. So let's say we got to, you know what? I'm gonna copy and paste this. let's say we got two squares that overlap each other. How would I combine them to make them interlock? So let's see. Merge this down. I'm gonna erase a little bit of details on it, just so this is more clear. And actually, let me go back to the example, make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so it's really just the squares. Let me clean this up a little bit before I actually get into the example. Okay. So, I have these two boxes. They're overlaid on top of each other. How do I make them... How do I give it the illusion that they're, like, interconnected? Okay, so when we look at this, let's look at the points that will kind of jut out of this. So let's say this part right here. So I have this part right here, and let's say this part right here. Okay, so this is, damn it. This part is very difficult. I'll tell you what. Let's actually watch the video on it. Because I feel like, who would get the point across better than the guy who made this book? So give me a second. Let me pull it up. Like, god damn it. I'm so dumb. Whatever. History. Hey, stop that. Okay, let me pull up this video so you guys can watch it. I didn't want to do that. Okay, hold on. There we go. Window capture, save vid. There we go. But now you guys can't see me. I want to fully understand this before we end stream today. Okay, so I'm gonna start over from the beginning because I was actually watching this earlier. I just didn't understand. I just forgot it. Okay, so let's watch this. Let me actually turn it up so I can hear it.
So those are the things that can actually, apply towards perspective work. So over here, beyond that, the idea of just only having a relationship within a space of things next to each other.
Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Show combinations of things. How do we put things together? So for instance, one example would be this. If I just showed to you straight on, imagine if we have a box coming down, and then another box is being combined.
Yeah, combining the boxes.
So they're being pressed into each other, right? And we can continue continue to press more boxes into each other. It's like Legos, essentially. Just combining these shapes into each other. But there's
Okay, it's very low to be honest. Okay, let me turn it up.
construction method.
How we looking now? How you feel about it now?
Accuracy of one shape into another. None of this stuff I'm going to talk about, I wouldn't expect any of you guys to automatically just understand. But these are just notes to share with you in terms of things I go into for my classes. So how that kind of works is, imagine if we took that box again, we drew it completely. And from
That's better. Thank you. Okay, so he's drawing a box. I'm gonna try to follow along so I can see it. Draw a box. Sorry, I'm trying to do this in a way in which y'all can see what I'm doing, but also see the video too. Okay, he drew a box.
there, let's draw the other box, and let's just overlap it.
Okay, he drew the other box, he overlapped it. Okay. Again, you guys can't see it because... Okay, that's good. You'll still be able to see it.
Now, with this impression, the idea is that we basically have three things happening. Either one box is in front of the other, left in front of right, right in front of left, or they are combining together, literally, like the one we have up here. So how do we find this combination of the placement of where these marks are happening?
Gotcha.
And this is where it gets confusing for a lot of students when I show this information, but just real quickly, the idea is that it's only going to happen within a certain area of space, which is obviously in the overlap area, right there.
Okay.
This is the overlap, which is where the connection is going to be found.
So we gotta find like the overlap area. So it's basically like I was going into is like right here ish, like right here ish. So that's where you'll kind of see that it overlaps. Thank you, Peter Hain, for showing me the way.
So you see this connection? I'm trying to find that within that space. So on this very line, right here to here, which is the line nearest to me, nearest to the camera,
Okay.
I'm going to choose somewhere on that line, just by choice. There's no direct answers as to which area you want to choose. It's all based on subject matter or you as choosing it. Let's just put one in the middle for the moment.
Okay, I can choose any part. So I'll choose right here.
From there, I can place a line going down.
Okay, do a line.
This perspective.
Do a line going down, following the perspective.
That perspective line. And as we do so, if I kind of darken up the lines, we now have the two boxes being combined together within the same space, which is a real relationship between the two forms as they're interconnecting together. Okay, now that's one thing.
Okay.
One box connecting into another. But we also want to be able to show more additional shapes. So if I keep adding additional forms into this thing, let's say I place in...
Hold on. Get this ad out my face. I kind of follow along, but he kind of lost me somewhere. Okay. Okay, so we found like basically like the overlap points, like the points right here where you can tell they're like connected to each other. So you made like a point on the you made a point on this square right here. You went down, and I guess that would connect to this point right here. Hold on. And then right here. Wait, what? Hold on. He kind of... I'm going to start over because he kind of... I'm going to start over because he kind of lost me somewhere. Hold up. I'm having a slow moment because I feel like I know what he said, but hold on. Okay, so I'll make a square. I really want to understand this before I end the stream. This is going to be the last part I go into because I got to get ready for work. I'll be late to work I'll be late to work. I better understand this. Okay. Then we'll make another one. Okay. Okay. So we have the overlap points. We have this point right here. Oh, sorry. You know what? I'm gonna do colors. Let's say red. Let's make it a red. So these are the overlap points he was talking about. Okay. So he chose a part on here. Let's say right here, for instance. I'm gonna just do right here. Oh, I think I see what he did. Okay. That's fair. It seems extra tricky without marked or vanishing point. Yes. I see what he did. So he did a line right here. And it just went straight down to this line, the bottom line of this square right here. And then he did the same thing right here, and then went to this line right here. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay. I think I got it. Let me start over. Okay, I got this. I think I got it. So this is the point. Okay, hold on. So this is the point where they overlap. I choose like a random point right here, and then I go down. Once I go down, that line should connect to the bottom of this one right here. Then I do the same thing over here at the top of this plane, and this line should go across to this line right here. And then what I'll do, let's erase these. Okay, okay, so it's technically kind of worked. They do look kind of sort of connected. And I do this. I can do this to kind of give it more of a connected vibe. This is such a weird lesson. Yeah, this is. I have to practice this, but I kind of get what he was talking about. Okay. Let me just continue.
To another. But we also want to be able to show more additional shapes. So if I keep adding additional forms into this thing, let's say I place in a pyramid over here.
Okay, he does a pyramid right there.
And again, I'm not really twisting and turning things dramatically, but if I place in this object and I'm trying to find that point of connection, again, it's only happening within the overlap. That's the overlap area. And then the line nearest to the camera, which is a corner of this pyramid, on that line, just anywhere I want to choose on that line as a point, let's put it right there. I want to follow the perspective line of this one and the perspective line of that one as it goes back. Now this box has now been pressed and combined into a pyramid. So if I throw in some like hatching to show shadows.
Okay.
Like for instance, if this was in a shadow area, you start to see how these combined shapes are appearing. Another difficult one would be to even consider now curvature. I mean, let's say I took a box, because it gives you a sense of perspective. It's easier to generally construct, and it's kind of the typical shape that we approach with for the exercise. But whatever shape you begin with is up to you. But I typically start with the square, this cube. From there, if I wanted to apply something more spherical, and let's say we placed in a sphere, like how do I combine this to this? Trying to find these kinds of points within a rounded spherical form sounds very complex, and it can be for many people. And again, I'm looking for the idea of overlap. The overlap is in between this area here, where the sphere and the box are next to each other. So from there, I'm going to find the line nearest to the camera, which is this line,
Okay.
the corner of the box.
Line nearest to the
And
camera.
I'll find the point. Just your choice. Let's put it right in the middle just to kind of keep it safe. At this point, what I have to do is follow. This is the top plane.
You follow the perspective
This
of the
is,
the
front plane.
planes.
And each of these planes are in a perspective. And if you kind of imagine an ellipse sitting inside there, you have to take that ellipse and put it on the inside of the sphere. So imagine drawing through all the way inside the sphere, matching the perspective plane of the
That's
top
how you would do it, like a
and the
sphere.
perspective plane on the side. Then imagine this line wrapping around the sphere.
Oh.
Here's the corner of the box. Imagine if this was in shadow side, the front plane.
Okay, okay. I think I kind of get it. I kind of get it.
Pressed
Okay.
into the box.
So let's try it again. I'm gonna erase this and try another one. My brain is getting bigger, I think. Okay. My little baby brain is growing. Yeah. Okay. Let's put it to the test though. Okay. So I have this. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, okay. And then I'll draw another square. That shape, two box shape, looks like that block from one of the earlier shrines in Tears of... Ooh, okay. I want to play Tears of the Kingdom one day. I never actually got around to playing those games. Hold on, let me do another box. Because I feel like this is a very not good box. Okay. This is a very jank box, but I just want to get the point across. I'm gonna copy and paste it since I don't have patience. Okay, copy and paste. Okay, so I got 2 boxes. Actually, since it's bothering me. Okay, so I gotta find the overlap points. So from right here to right here, it overlaps. Okay, I get that. So now you find like a little point right here, and then you make a line going down that adheres to the perspective. Okay, so it could just go straight down like this. And then at the top plane, you'll make a line going adhering to the perspective, and it'll go right here. So now technically they're connected now. So what I can do, I'm gonna add some hatching to it, but I kind of get the principle. And then I'll erase this. Okay, cool. So they're technically connected now. Okay, I think I got it. This box just looks weird, but I get the principle of it. You basically overlap a shape on it, find the overlap points, and then you create a line adhering to the perspective on each side and kind of clean it up. So right now I got them connected. That's probably I probably did not explain that in any coherent way, but I think I got it. I just don't know how to explain it really well. So let's try a. Let me add another shape to it. So he added a triangle to it. So let's see. Let me clean this up a little bit. Sure, looks like you got it. I'm trying. Um. Okay. So. Okay. I got it. I just can't explain it to you guys, and I hate that. Okay. So let's find the overlap point. So the overlap point will be right here and right here. So what he did, he found a point right here. Okay. He went down. Oh, it has to adhere to the perspective of the plane. Oh yeah, it does. It does. Oh, it has to adhere to the it has to adhere to the perspective of the box. Of that makes sense. Okay. So we'll go down right here, and then down right there. Okay. And then I'll add some shading right here. And then let's see. I'll erase this. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, that looks pretty connected. Okay. Okay, we learning. We big learners. My brain is bigger. Yeah, you love to see it. Okay, we are not out the woods yet. So he said he added a spear to it. Okay, so I think I remember what he did. So I'm gonna try to do this by myself. Okay, so he created the circle. Okay, he created the spear or circle in this instance. Okay, what are the overlap points? So the overlap points are right here. Oh, sorry. The overlap points are right here and right here. Okay, so this plane is going up, this plane is going this way. So I have to make an ellipse that adheres to the planes of the top and the side plane. Okay, so let's do right here. And then this top one, let's do right here. Very rough idea, I know. So now what we do, we can do, okay. Okay. Let me clean it up a little bit so I can see it. Okay. So this goes around right here. Okay, this is gonna be a little tricky. Okay. So it's gonna be right here. And then right here. And then I'll erase that. Okay, so I kind of sort of got it. I think I just kind of fucked up the I think I kind of just messed up the ellipsis a little bit. But I think I got it. When I make this into an actual video, I'll probably do a more refined. I'll put like a little side note at the top with a more refined version of what I'm doing. But I kind of sort of get what's going on here. You're basically just finding the overlap points and then creating a line going up or down or adhering to the perspective of whatever the shape is connecting to. Make of that what you will. Okay. Then I'll erase that. It's simple, it's just the way that he explained it, it sounded weird for a minute. Cause y'all know I'm dumb. One thing about me, I'm dumb, so you gonna have to show me. But I might do one more example. I'm gonna do one more example by myself, and then we'll call it for stream. I'm gonna finish this. What he's doing right now.
What's the point of all this? Like, why do we have to practice this in the first place? Like, is there an actual, use of it at all? Well, let me just give you a really quick example of even like drawing something organic and how we can combine something of this information technique into like observational drawing or more construction methods. So let's say I drew something very organic like a fish, and we can start a fish with, how about a line? And that's going to be just giving me general length and proportion of the animal.
Okay.
And then from there,
Nah, you're fine. Thank you.
I don't know, the fish can be a cone head. And then from that cone kind of head-like form, we can go into more of a longer cone-like shape. Here's some.
And see, that's what I was talking about. See how he's making a fish out of shapes. Everything's made of shapes.
Top, dorsal fins, pectoral fins, all throughout the body of the shape of the form. So from there, I can even place in where the information of the eye is placed in. Now, if I want to find the other end of it, all I have to do is draw through the thing, find a cylinder.
He made a cylinder.
And now I can combine these shapes together also. How the cone...
See how that works?
...around that cylinder, giving you this three-dimensional information about how these shapes are being combined together.
That's so cool. I love art.
Here's the mouth construction to the gill.
Bro, that is so cool. Okay.
So now I've taken something organic, using very primitive geometric forms, combining shapes together. Here's a cylinder, the cone.
Save, yes.
Wraps around that cylindrical form, rounding this way, rounding out that way.
Okay, I think we got the idea. So, before we end off stream, I want to do one by myself. I don't have the video. I want to do this. Hold on, let me get this video out of my view over here. I want to see if I can do this by myself. So I'm gonna make another page. Pray for me. We got this. You got this, Shay. You got this. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make a square. Hold on. I'm nervous. Hold on. Yes, go Shay, go Shay. I'm glad y'all have faith in me. Someone has to, I suppose. Okay, I got this. I got this. Okay, I make a square, or a cube, I would say. There we go. Let me turn this ad off. Okay. Well, actually, I'll keep that. I'll keep that vanishing point. And then I'll make another box. Okay.
Let's take a dive in aquatic mind. Once was a cold pit, but now it's a water ride. Makes you want to sit back, enjoy the life, and do things you like doing. Get to shine. It sure beats fighting with the foes all the time. But I gotta do it, they always stay out of line. Sometimes I wanna just chill and land. But I'm the protector of the emerald gem. I stay knuckled up. I'm in a deep cut. I'm seeing skulls that burn. They trying to cut me off. Avoiding my luck. I'm feeling kinda stuck. I'm in narrow hallways running like it's a ball game. Man, tracks be tracking me to different doorways in a maze.
Okay.
Don't know what to do. Guaranteed though, I'ma find the emeralds. They don't call me Knuckles for nothing. I can't lose. Sure beats fighting with the foes all the time, but I gotta do it.
Okay, I got two squares. Now I have to find the overlap points. So the overlap points are going to be right here and right here. So I'll create a line right here, and I have to have it here to the perspective of the plane. So okay, this one looks a little weird. Let me change this a little bit. Okay, this might just look a little weird. Hold on. I'll do the top one. I'll put the line right here. Fuck! Okay, hold on. I'm gonna start this over. I'm gonna at least redo the other square. Hold on. I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing in this video. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Okay. I swear, this is the run. This is the run. I'm gonna do it again. I swear, this is the run. Okay. Okay. Vanishing point. Okay, finishing point. Okay, I got that. I'm gonna create another one. Okay, we got two squares. Okay, where do they overlap? They overlap right here and then right here. So I create a line, have it go down, create this line, have it go this way. And then I erase this. Okay, perfect. Well, it's not perfect, but you get the idea. One's connected over the other. It just looks a little rough right here. Let me clean this up. It still looks a little weird, but I get the idea. Okay, let's add a pyramid. Let me get this ad out of here. This is a long ad. Jesus Christ. There we go. Okay. Okay, what are the overlap points? The overlap points are going to be right here and right here. So I create a line right here, have it adhere to the perspective of this cube. I have this one go this way or down. That's why the ashes keep getting longer, like they do. They do. Alright. So now I erase this. Okay, perfect. I create this plane right here. Okay, so that's connected. Okay, so that's connected. So let's say if I wanted to add a circle or a sphere to it. Okay. So now what I have to do, I have to create a ellipse. That adheres to the perspective of the top plane and its side plane that's closest to us. That's facing us, I would say. Okay, so what are our overlap? Our overlap points are right here and right here. Okay. So overlap right there. And I just erase that part. And then I erase this part. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something with the sphere. Ah, okay. Okay, so I did that. The overlap points are right here and right here. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna start this circle over, I mean. Okay. So it overlaps right between right here and right here. Okay. I made ellipses right here. And then make one right here. Okay. Hold on. I think Oh, okay, I get it. So you're kind of following the ellipse. Okay, got you. So it'll look like kind of like this. Okay, so I think we got it. Obviously, it's like very rough, but I get the general idea of it. You're finding the overlay points and then kind of adhering it to the perspective. What's up, Orange Hoodie? Yeah, you came right at the end. Um, we were doing a what I call the Studious Sketchbook. It's a series of videos I'm working on where I basically go through certain art books. Right now we're going over we're learning from the Dynamic Bible by Peter Hain. Basically it teaches us how to apply shapes and turn like 2D shapes to 3D shapes. Yeah, you came at the end. I unfortunately do have to go because I have to work. I hate it. I hate working. But I think I got a good grasp of this. Basically, in this lesson right here, I was learning how to basically connect shapes together, kind of interlock shapes. It's not the most perfect thing in the world, but I think I got the concept. I just gotta work on it. I gotta work on it some more. But yeah, today was a pretty successful stream. This was actually a good stream. I was not expecting this to go so well. I was definitely a little rough around the edges, but I actually got through this. I was kind of scared. But yeah, this will conclude the first bit of my deep dive into the Dynamic Bible by Peter Hain. Tune in next time. We'll get a little bit more in depth in the book and kind of see what we can learn, see if we can make our brain a little bit bigger. You feel me? But yeah, if nobody's told you that they love you today, remember that I do. Enjoy being blessed, carry no stress, and I will see you guys. Actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing a fighting game stream. We'll be practicing some more Under Night in Birth, and then we'll do some Street Fighter practice. But yeah, I appreciate you for sticking by me. Whoosh. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the stream, Whoosh. Orange Hoodie and Savage Impulse, and that's about it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for streaming. It was a fun to watch. Thank you. Definitely come by again. We'll definitely be doing a lot of art streams going forward. But yeah, I appreciate you. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.